Good morning all. SRM Institute of Science and Technology and Department of Computer Science welcomes you all to the webinar on Decode Your Career. Now I request our beloved HOD ma'am, Dr. S. Prasanna Devi, to present the welcome address.
Ma'am, you're on mute.
Sorry, ma. Okay. A very good morning once again to one and all present here. On behalf of the CSE department, I heartily welcome you all for this webinar on Decode Your Career. We have with us our very special guest, Ms. Rajalakshmi Srinivasan, a Director of Product Management at Zoho Corporation. Ms. Rajalakshmi holds a BE from a very prestigious College of Engineering, BE in Computer Science from College of Engineering, Guindy, Anna University. And she has been associated with Zoho Corporation for more than 20 years, involving herself at various positions in the organization. Personally, following Ms. Rajalakshmi, I've seen her involved in participating in various marathons, cleanup drives, and so on. That is during or after office hours. In short, I can say that she is a lady on her wheels, a vivid traveler, and a proud mom of 3 kids. Probably, I can say there's no country left where Ms. Rajalakshmi has not traveled. I first met her in our Vadapalani campus when she came here as a keynote speaker for a research conference on cloud and IoT. So she was an awesome speaker. I should just mention here that our own students came back to me and told me she was one of the best speakers for that particular semester. So fondly recalling all these memories with Mrs. Rajalakshmi, I heartily welcome you, ma'am, for this seminar. Despite your very busy schedules, I thank you very much for accepting our invitation. And also, I should say, in this juncture, I told she's a mom of 3 proud kids, right? I am a fan of a daughter, Miss Ovia. She's a great painting artist. So I could witness Miss Rajalakshmi as a proud mom at home, and even in office, she's managing a great room. So I'd continue talking about her, but then due to limited time, I'd like to stop here. But then the motto of organizing this webinar is very strong. So we all keep reading the articles, WhatsApp forwards, and then about the recent burnt out epidemic, right? So in this juncture, we had been coming across many cases where youth has been found to report depressions. So especially amidst the increasing and constant flow of the negative news on top of depression, especially for the college going students. So we thought of inviting a person who can guide our students with a practical ways to thrive a very good career during these difficult times, even after the post-COVID situation. So Ms. Rajalakshmi is an apt person to render a talk on this particular topic. So once again, I thank Ms. Rajalakshmi for accepting our invitation and being with us today. I also heartily welcome all the participants present here for this webinar, and I'm sure that you'll have an exciting take-home message, and we'll have a very good start for this particular semester with the first speaker for this semester, Ms. Rajalakshmi. So once again, I thank you, Ms. Rajalakshmi, for accepting our invitation, and thanks for your time once again. I welcome you. Ma'am, the stage is yours.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Good morning, students, staff, and all of you who are present here. Dr. Prasanna Devi, ma'am, has set the bar too high here. So just forget all that. Just treat this as a friendly talk based on my experience, what I have in the organization for the past 20 years. I thought I'll share my experiences which could help the students. And thank you, ma'am, for following up with my daughter's work as well. She's just a school-going kid. She's only 15-year-old 10th standard student. So thank you so much. Okay. What I'll probably be doing in this session is for the next possibly 40 minutes, I'll run through a presentation that I have because I have some points to talk to you. And at the end of it, you can keep asking your questions. After that, we'll have a live Q&A that will give a expectation of what I would be talking, and whatever doubts you have, whatever questions you have, keep them coming, and I'll answer them at the end of the session. Fine. The main problem with these type of webinars is, I shouldn't say it as a problem. Anything you take in life, there are both pros and cons, plus and minus, right? Be it a situation or be it any decision, anything you take. If you have to say about this webinar, the positive sides of it are, you can listen to it from wherever you are.
Ma'am, sorry for the interruption.
Clearly audible?
Raji ma'am, sorry for the interruption, but then students have actually missed out a small presentation about you, ma'am. Can you just give us 2 minutes?
I would, enough, ma'am.
No, please, ma'am. You're such a dignified person. Like, you have to be introduced to the audience. Your profile matters, ma'am. It's a great inspiration.
That's okay.
Just 2 minutes of it, ma'am, please.
Okay.
Ramya?
Yes, ma'am. On behalf of SRM Institute of Science and Technology, it's my immense pleasure to welcome Ms. Rajalakshmi Srinivasan. Rajalakshmi Srinivasan, Director Site 24x7, Zoho, is a global speaker who speaks about technology, youth motivation, women empowerment, and parenting. Rajalakshmi Srinivasan is a product manager and an evangelist at Zoho Corporation. She has an engineering degree in computer science from the College of Engineering, Guindy, Chennai. In her 20 years journey with the company, she has gained extensive experience ranging from database scaling and network monitoring to application performance tracking and end-user experience management. She currently leads the application performance monitoring section in Site 24x7, a cloud-based all-in-one monitoring product from Zoho Corporation. She has a lot of people skills and also good amount of technical skills with which she can shine at any work environment. She has participated and conducted a lot of extracurricular activities too. Her skills, to name a few: leadership, non-profits, training, research, recruiting, legal research, community outreach, event management, data modeling, network management application, data analysis, troubleshooting, and more to add on. An investment in learning makes the best interest, says Benjamin Franklin. With this note, looking forward for a great session with you. We welcome you, ma'am. The session is over to you.
Thank you so much. So already Prasanna Devi ma'am talked a lot, and you have prepared a presentation, and also just students, I say just forget all that. Okay. As I was saying, the positive side of a webinar is you can listen to it from wherever you are. It's a Saturday morning, and I'm so happy to see so many students coming online to listen to a talk, because Saturday morning, 10 o'clock, my children are still sleeping in the other room. And the convenience is you can lie down on your bed, or you can just do any of your day-to-day routines and listen to it. So those are all you need not travel in a traffic road if it had to happen on a live session, or it has to happen in person. So you have to get up early, travel, come. So all that is not there. So that's the positive side of the webinar. But the negative side, which I see is a major drawback, is I'm not able to see the students. So I would love to see all of you in person, see who you are you in agreement with me? Because that's great feedback for any presenter. So whatever we talk about, we have to know if you people are understanding it. For a teacher, for a presenter, that is very, very important. So we can see students nodding in agreement, or say, no, we are not in agreement with you. So we can have a conversation. All that is missing. I'm just sitting in within the four walls of a room, and I'm just talking in front of a pinhole camera. Is really a challenge. So I would like you to switch on your video if you can when you ask questions, and talk to me as if you're talking to me in person. So that's something I want to leave a message. I'll quickly share my screen, and the next 30-40 minutes, I'll walk you through a presentation, and then we'll have the question answer session. Possibly what you can do is, in Zoom, there is this feature, thumbs up. So if you are in agreement with me, you can give me that reaction. And Zoom doesn't have a negative reaction at all. You cannot say, I don't agree with you. Possibly you'll have to say that in chat or talk to me in person. Anyway, so this topic, this is decode your career. So it's a very general topic. So what I'm not going to take any technical session here. So I'm just going to give some tips based on my experiences, how the students can prepare themselves for their future, for their long life ahead. You're all just in your early stages of your, I don't know, I think it's a mix of first years and third years, final years, any year it could be. So these small bits that I'm going to talk will be helpful when you plan your career. And this is not something new that I'm inventing and all. I have heard this from my mentors. I have heard this from my gurus who have talked about all these subjects, and I've compiled this. I've given the same talk in other different colleges as well. Some of the stories that I shared will be already known to you, but it's always good to hear some positive notes again and again, so it will stay within us. So if you have also already heard about it, just sit back, relax, and hear it. If any of you face any technical difficulties in my audio, video, just let me know. You just unmute yourself, or ma'am, you just let me know. So I will repeat or I will take it slow. I've connected to my Airtel 4G so that if there is any power cut also, I don't get disturbed. But sometimes there could be slowness or disturbance. If you face any, just keep me informed, ma'am. Okay. What is happening? Yeah. So if I have to go search in the internet for what to do, what not to do, how to do things, how not to do things, for anything, for your career, or you want to take any topic, you'll only end up with so much of data that thing like the Swiss knife, so much of data is available on the internet. In such cases, what I have done is I've just categorized them into some common topics. Like I'll be talking on learning. So what I have to say about learning, and what are some special skills that you have to possess. On tools, what are the tools that you should be using and how it will be helpful for you. Technologies, what technologies that you should focus on and how it will help you. Working with people, what you need to know when you have to work with people in a team. And if you have to do something yourself, what you need to know about them. So those are the 6 topics that I will be talking on, because there is so much information available. I've categorized them into these topics. And I will also be doing one more thing. I will be trisecting them on 3 things, like now, what you need to focus now on all these topics, all these 6 topics, what you have to be doing now immediately. And then next, when you start your career, what you should be doing, that's the next part. Later, down the line, in your future, 10, 20 years down the line, what you should be doing, what I am doing now. So I always used to wonder, I haven't heard of these things when I was a student. So if I have heard of such things when I was a student, my life would have been in even better shape, or I would have done things even in a better way. So that's when I realized maybe I'll have to talk with students on these things. You would have heard them, but it's good to hear again. So we will move on to the first topic, learning. So what I have to say about learning, there are so many people will talk to you, practical learning and understand and learn, all these things we would have heard. But I have a different perspective to give here. On learning, if I have to say, I call this as a balloon effect. I'm sure some of you, and it's a nice story to listen again. So what do you see on the screen? There are 2 balloons, one on the left, one on the right. Are they the same, or are there any different? Yeah, there is some difference. I'm going to tell you what it is. Both are empty balloons, by the way, okay? The one on the left is an empty balloon. It's a new, fresh balloon, which has not seen air in it at all. It has not been blown at all in its lifetime. Whereas the one on the right, it was blown once. It held some air to its capacity, and then it was all freed up, and that's also again empty. Now you see the difference? The one on my right side is a stretched, it's a bit elongated balloon. So that is how I compare education to, or these balloons are nothing but our brain. That's called the balloon effect on the brain. The brain, which we already say it's an empty vessel, based on all the learnings that you have, become an enlarged balloon, enlarged brain, capable of holding more information. So possibly the courses that you attend, the exams that you write, or the sessions like this that you attend, you may not know how or when it will be useful for you, but keep doing them, because it will help you to expand your brain balloon, and it will help you somewhere down the line in your career. So even if you think, where am I going to use all these concepts? Keep studying them. It will help you in someday or the other. So that's what I would like to say about the balloon effect of education. Next, after you finish your college, what are the options that you have? You want to go for a job, right? Most of us would want to go for a job. Some of us would want to do higher studies. Agree with me? Is there any other option? Yeah, there is a third option where you can start your own business. You can become your own entrepreneur. So remember, children, these are the three options that are available. You cannot say, I'll go sit back at home idle. It's applicable for all, for boys, girls, everybody, okay? As individuals, as adults, we must make sure that we are able to do something meaningful, stand on our own leg, and feed for our own bread and butter. As we grow up, that is very, very important. I see a lot of people missing the focus in that. So I have some tips to give for all these three sections. This particular section is for when you want to settle for a job. So when you want to choose a job, what is that you would look for? I say you have to look for these three things. First, of course, money. Monetary benefit is what we need. But just don't be over obsessed with money and look for only a job that will give you huge amount of money. There has to be learning opportunities as well in your job. And there has to be responsibility that are given for you. So you have to look for a job that will have ample of all these three, or in equal proportion of all these three components: the money, learning opportunities, and responsibility. That's what I call it as a three-legged stool. And if they have to be balanced. If there is a job that's going to give you more money, but you don't have the responsibility or the challenge of any learning, you will not be able to continue in it for longer term. Similarly, there is a job profile where that gives you are responsible for everything that you are doing. So you are very proud of what you're doing, but you're not paid enough. You will not be satisfied at the end of the day. It has to be rewarded properly. So is learning as well. Some manual, it is already written, monotonously you keep doing them and you are responsible for that also, you will not be satisfied. There has to be challenges, there has to be learnings in that, because every day technologies keep changing. So you can't be stuck with just older technology. So see if there is room for learning. So look for a job that has a balance of all these three. And if you are to sit on a balanced stool, your life or your career path will be a steep inclination, and you will be happy with it. See, I've been able to be in this career for the past 20 years now in the same organization. My job is a balanced stool. I have ample of all these three, if not ample of, a balanced of all these three elements. So when you have to choose your career, think of these three things. Mukkali, we call in Tamil, right? So think of that and keep that in mind. So that's what I have to tell you for your choosing your career. And down the line, with respect to education, what I have to do in learning, somewhere down the line, you remember what this character is? Yes, thumbs up. I don't see anything. Yeah, this is Poppy, the sailor man. What is special about this character? Is it the physical strength of the person? No, it's the unique strength of the forearm. So he's very strong in his forearm. So why I'm saying this is, you have to find out. A lot of time people say you are weak in this, focus on that area and improve. Instead, what I am saying is, forget that. You are already weak in that. Why you have to spend your time and energy in that and become or try to balance it? Instead, find out your strengths. every one of us as individuals have our own strengths. Every human being, every individual has their own strength. Find out what is your strength and work on it to become more stronger in that area. And that's what is your special skill. That was to you for such particular strengths of yours. So find out the strength and become special in that. So with respect to learning, we saw 3 things. Learning as a balloon effect. So read whatever you are given. That will help you somewhere down the line. Sit on a balanced stool if you have to select a job. Find out if you have enough of money, responsibility, and learning. Remember, copy and find out your strength and work on that. Moving on to the next topic on some special skills. Like Harry Potter or the Marvel characters, I would also love you to have some special skills. So I'll tell you what you have to, what are some of the special skills that you have to possess. Remember this scene? I don't know if you would have seen this movie. This is a famous scene from a blockbuster movie during the 1999 time frame. The important thing here is, what's happening here is, the heroine in this movie, she is put up in a situation where she has to fly a helicopter. She has sometime learned it. But she cannot say, no, I don't know to do it. What she will instead do is, she'll just close her eyes, try to recollect what she has learned, and then she'll say, yes, I'm ready, we can go. What I'm trying to say here is the art of learning. See, the world, we will not be able to tell you what the problems you're going to face when you go out in the world, be it the college education system or at your home. We don't know what the problem is going to be. So then how will we be able to give you the solutions? So what you have to know is the art of learning. Don't expect somebody to be spoon feeding you with all the steps that you have to do. You have to learn yourself and do. So the art of learning is what will keep you sustained in the long run, because things keep changing. You have to be able to learn on the go and do. Remember the art of learning. The next important thing when you settle down in your job is, at 3-4 years, people come to me. A lot of my subordinates itself, they have come to me saying that I'm bored. I'm having a feeling that I'm not doing anything. So all of us have this phase. During those times, one thing I would want you all to remember is, you know this person? Yeah, Seth Godin. So he's a famous author, blogger. And if you go search, he writes a blog every day, 1 blog per day. And he has been doing it for the past 11 years. You won't believe. So you can subscribe and you can get to know his vision and thought process, and you can learn a lot from that. Of the many small tidbits of advice that he has given, something that I found very interesting was on this topic of zooming. Learn to zoom. I'll tell you what this is. So I'm going to give you some different scenarios now. Tonight for dinner, try to eat something different from what you have regularly you used to have. Or if you listen to a music of a different genre, try read a book of if you have been reading only non-fiction, or what you can say, go attend a meeting that's not in your department, and try to attend a meeting. Now these meetings are becoming virtual, right? Find out something not in your area of interest, or not in your in your what they call syllabus. See if you can understand them. Change the layout of your room. So what am I saying all these things? This might look crazy. Why should I do changes like this? That's what is called zooming. So if you learn to adapt to any situation or find out interesting things from newer, you are not being used to that. And if you're able to find out what you can do, that's what is called zoom. Zoom and see what you can do in that. Because any organization will face problems. It can be some life or death problem as well. They may have to change the entire way in which they are working. This pandemic time, there are a lot of businesses which are going out of business, and people have to come up with new ideas for new businesses, because we don't know how it's going to take. In those situations, you cannot go and say, I'm not used to this, I will only work the older way. If I have to say in computer science terminologies, the languages, the programming languages that we are using, it will keep changing. You can't come and say, I've learned only Java or C, C++ in my college, I will only work on that. No, it will keep changing. To 10 years down the line, 20 years down the line, we didn't have these languages, programming languages. Similarly, the JavaScript languages that we are working on today, we talk about, I'm sure you must have known all this, or you must go find out and learn these concepts. The single page applications, the Angular JS that we have, the different JavaScript programming languages that are available. I don't know if they are part of your college curriculum. If not, you have to know them when you have to start your career, because those are the new technologies in which the companies or organizations are working. So you have to learn the art of zooming. That's very important. Next, down the line in your career, work-life balance. What do I mean by work-life balance? I don't mean here you work at office, come back home and you do your work at home and sleep. That's not the work-life balance that I'm talking about. By that way, you will become very, very one-dimensional. Because I hear a lot of people who used to say, after they start their career, they'll say, I don't find time at all now to do any of my hobbies that I had. I don't find time to go for a walk or run or listen to music or do some instrumental, which I have been doing when I was in college. No, don't lose your hobbies or that extracurricular things that you have. Because it could be you sit in front of a TV and waste that 30 minutes of time, but that is what you are. So the positives, the negatives, the multidimensional character you are with your hobbies is what is your individualistic character. Don't lose that when you join a career and just become monotonous doing only your work at office and then work at home. That's not the work-life balance. I'm talking about the real work-life balance where you have to have time for yourself, for your passion, for your dreams. Could be anything. Include that and become, if you're a multidimensional person, have that multidimensional throughout. Lot of girls, women end up after marriage, after having kids, they don't give time for themselves. No, you can find time for yourself. Lead a balanced life, and that's what is real work-life balance, which will help you in longer run in your life. So on some special skills, learn the art of learning to Zoom, and maintaining real work-life balance is important. Moving on to tools. What does tools mean? What is the tools that I want to talk about is the tools that you have in your hand has a great impact on your day-to-day activities. It will define the person who you are. That's what this picture depicts. This is the diagram of a hand that draws the hand itself. So even the small things, where are you taking your notes? In your paper or in your computer or in your smartphone? Where are you storing them? Are you storing them as in paper format in your desk or in a system or in the cloud? Everything has moved to the cloud now. Where are you storing them? How often do you check your email? Have you integrated your email with your calendar to make note of all your events that you have? Have you enabled spell checker in your content editing tool that you use? All of these small things will define your day-to-day activities, and that is what will shape you. So you have to be wise in choosing the right set of tools that are defined for you, because they become muscle memory. You cannot change it later. If you start the habit of doing it one way, it is very difficult to change it later on. So so make sure that you choose the right set of tools for you that will help you, because there is this great famous saying, I'm sure you must have heard this. If you have a hammer in your hand, everything will look like a nail. Even if it's a screwdriver, you will end up only hitting it because you only have the hammer in your hand. So such power is what the tool that you have in your hand has. Choose the right set of tools. Next important thing that I want you all to remember is time management. The time, which is a common 24-hour that all of us have. You cannot carry some portion of it from yesterday and use it today. Or you cannot give some portion from today to tomorrow as well. You can't do that. You can't borrow or you can't carry it. All of us have the same equal amount of time. This is something which my manager told me when I joined the organization, and it is very, very useful if you practice this early in your career. What I mean by lead more than lag is, See, any job, any project, we are going to have deadlines, right? And whenever you have a deadline, there is going to be delay in that. That's going to be a slip. Now, if you are going to have a 30-minute delay, you have to inform 31 minutes ahead. Don't come and tell me in the last minute that I'm having a delay. If your project is going to be delayed by 1 day, you tell me 1 day in advance. That's what I mean by lead more than lag, because human, they will understand. What is more important is not telling in the last minute. Have that time as a lead time is more than your lag time. So that's what I mean. If you practice this time management very efficiently, I would say you have learned the art, one of the arts for your success. Because we are all so much used to saying that Indian standard time, right? Whenever I know many of my friends who will say, when you have to go to a place, they will only start from their home at that time. When you have a meeting at a particular time, this India standard time, we can go anytime. No, don't get into that habit. In your career, time management is very, very important. Learn that. The sooner you learn, the better person you become. Then what is this that I have to say about? You see this, I'm going to have a story here. There was once this plumber who came in to see what the problem was in a pipeline, and he examined the whole pipeline. He just used his hammer to give a big blow in a particular place in the pipe, and then he sent a bill. The bill read as it read as $1 for, what is it, hitting with a hammer, and $59 of the total $60, or you can even convert it to rupees, 1,000 rupees, and 100 rupees for hitting, and 900 rupees for fighting. If you have to replace the screw that is there in the screen, you can replace if it is anywhere else. But if you have to replace the screw in this complex watch dial, that will need 1,000 rupees, because you are not a specialist in that. So it's not just important to have the tool, become a specialist in what you use, and people have to come to you for that. So all these poppy, the strength, all these are all related. So become special. Don't just keep using the tool. Find out your strength in that, become specialist in that, and people have to come for that. If I have to say in computer terminologies, if you are very good at database scaling, or if you are very good at front-end designer tools, become specialist in that. If I have some problem with respect to scaling in the database, I have to choose a particular database for my project, people should come to you for that design. So that's what I meant by, you can write a sample code using a sample project for 10 lines or something can be done. Using a data set of just a sample 10 user data set you can do. But if you have to use the same data set for millions of users joining in time, there are special tuning in the design which only the specialist, the database administrator knows. So that is the special skill that you should be focusing on. So on choosing tools, choose the arrangement and be specialist in the tools that you're using. Moving on to the next session on technical skills. Programming a computer is not just a computer science student's job anymore, because we are all moving in this fast forward internet world. It is important that irrespective of the field you are, you have to know to do some amount of coding, because whatever field you take, you need to do some automation of your day-to-day activities or do some data analysis. See, now everybody has to do only online classes. So I'm seeing a lot of people struggling to even set it up, and people are, because they assumed that they need not be using it earlier, and so they are finding it difficult now. So technical skills, learning to program, or not even program, learning to use a computer is very, very important for everybody in this world. That's what Steve Jobs called this as, use the bicycle of the mind. He called this as coding as a bicycle for the mind. So it has to be so much inbuilt in yourself that you must be able to know some amount of usage of the system is very important. In your career, lot of times you will face this difficulty or the changes that I talked about. So the art of risk taking is very important. When there is a challenge that is put forward to you, I have done this mistake. That's why I'm saying this again. When a challenge is put forward to you, a lot of us have this fear of failure. We would have been thinking, what if I'm not able to do it correctly, and we will not accept the challenge. Remember, all of us are in the same boat. You can accept if you have that, whatever I have talked, the art of learning yourself, you will be able to accept, you will be able to learn and fail fast and move forward. So go away from your life and accept challenges as they come. Accept the opportunities as they come. You can learn. It is okay to fail, but get up and learn again. So that's what is more important. Because as I was saying earlier, the technologies keep changing. The whole of the program that we have written, the front-end technology has to be rewritten in a newer technology. You cannot fear it and just sit back and say, I will not do it. You have to accept the challenge and jump with the faith. Have faith in yourself. You will definitely be able to do it. That's very important in your job. Because now we are moving towards this, already we have this big data concepts and all. It might look a lot of things will look very technical or very scary, but take bits and pieces. Just try to learn it in small portions. You will be able to understand. All that it needs is you have to give enough time and focus on that. Don't do it at a superficial level. Give enough time and focus on any concept. Anyone can learn any concept if you have that interest for learning. So have that faith in yourself and jump. This is important in your career. People want only who can come forward to take up challenges. You can't just sit back and say, I will do what you are doing and I will just move on. People don't want such people. Organizations don't want such people. Organizations want people who can have that courage to take, who can have the courage to take some risk and come forward to accept the challenge and take the organization to the next level. So have faith in yourself and jump. The other important thing that everybody has to remember is technology is just, technology is, I would say it's not the painting. It's just the window through which you see behind, what is there behind. That's what I call by think beyond tech. Don't be over obsessed with technology, because the beauty lies in how much of technology is hidden behind. It's not, we don't judge or we don't, when you go and see a house, we don't say, go to the plumbing line and say, oh, this is very nice. That's hidden behind. Such things are our smartphones. The Apple or the other phones that we have, all technology that is being used, or saying this is, a lot of time people just get obsessed with technology. They don't see, they say, I will only do this portion of it. No, just see it as a tool using which you can see the world through and not be obsessed with it. Think beyond tech. There is human element. Talk to people who are nearby. If you are a technical person, that doesn't mean you don't talk with others. So there are human elements, human people around. Be friendly. So that's all very important. That's what will help you in the longer run. Otherwise, you will only be talking technology, and you will, I have seen a lot of people just become obsessed with it. That's where you get depressed as well. So just have a balance. That's very important. Think beyond technology. So on technical skills, you have to learn to code. Everybody has to learn to code, accept challenges, leap off with faith, and think beyond tech. The next section is on working with people. This is very important because you are not the individual who's going to be when you start work. You have to work with people. On working with people, what you have to know is having a social network profile. I'm sure all of you have that. You all have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatnot. I know only these. I'm sure people these ages have a lot more social networking platforms in which they interact. But what I'm talking here is take your work to the social platform. See, even if you take computer science as a field, there are different verticals in that. I'll just tell some 4 or 5. I'm sure you all know this as well. If you are very good at designing, you can become a designer. In which case, you must already have a Dribble account and you have taken your design, put your design outside there. If you are a very good writer, when you have to see what a website is, you don't go and see the bits and bytes that is written there. For any website, the content is very important. So we need people who can write an easy way of the code that is being written in the backend. So if you are very good at that, society or the organizations need such people. You must already be writing, need not be technical, but the art of writing, that doesn't come for everyone. You must already be having a blog for yourself. Publish your work. Don't be shy and and if you are very good at hacking, you must have a hacker ranking. You can publish your code in public GitHub repositories. Those are the social platforms that I'm talking by what I mean by go social. Because when you have to go for an interview, nowadays people don't ask for the paper resume. It's all outdated. Show me your work. That will speak for you. Your works will speak for you than what you have written in the paper. Lot of times, because it's like a photograph, you can say lie in your resume, but your works are like video. They are proof. That will not lie. That's your real work. So start putting your work, start exhibiting your work wherever, whichever you are passionate about. So that's what I mean by go social. Go socialize. The socialize is the communication skill. How will I know what you are good at until you talk about it? Whichever area you are, you should be able to communicate and socialize with an unknown person also, because you don't know who your customers are going to be. You have to talk to them. You need not be the customer facing person who talks to, the support or salesperson who talks to them. Even if you are a developer, you must be able to talk to your customer and understand their pain points in using the product. You can't feel shy. So socializing is nothing but talking to other people. In working as a team consists of marketing person, a salesperson, a QA person, a developer. You may have some new ideas. If you're not able to verbalize that, how are you going to communicate that idea to other people? Because I've seen a lot of people who are very shy, who are very, very talented, but who cannot come and talk. In interviews, how will I know, or how will the other person know what you're capable of? You need not be a public speaker, but you must be able to talk and communicate your ideas. That is very important. I'll give you a small tip here. If you are a very shy person, think you're standing in a line and you have only one person in front of you, one person behind you. So just restrict yourself with just two people. Think that you're only talking with one person. Try to establish a communication. Try to start a talk with some stranger. Find out their interest. Possibly if it matches, you'll have to continue the talk. So socializing or communicating what you want to say is very important with respect to your job. Any job it could be. So try to learn that habit. Down the line, some 10 years, 20 years down the line, you all become managers and you want to delegate your work to subordinates. Remember this, Batman and Robin. Every Batman had a Robin to delegate. And one important thing in this is you have to have trust when you delegate the work. Don't, when you delegate a work to a person, every person will have their own way of executing. They may not do it the same way that you want to. All that you need is at the end of the day is the work being done or not. That's all you have to see. Don't be micromanaging. Don't take a helicopter, fly around and see if they are doing it correctly. That will not help. So that will not scale you when you grow up in your career and you have to manage a bigger team. At Zoho, we have this culture of no micromanagement. If you have to hire a smart person to manage another smart person, you're wasting one of them. That's the policy that we have. Because I know a lot of people who say after 4-5 years, I will become a manager, I will settle down, I'll just take care of only managing the people. That's not going to work. Because people who are coming nowadays, they're all very smart. So just trust them. I know people who are joining today, you are all more smarter than me. I know that very well. The first thing is I have to have that acceptance, and I should be able to have that acceptance to learn from you people. Otherwise, just don't have any ego. That's very, very bad thing to have as you grow. You must be able to learn from your subordinates, be it, I learn a lot from my children. All of us do that. It's not that we can't just ignore what you're saying. Don't have that, cultivate that habit. If you are open-minded, without any ego, trying to learn from all people and trust them, that's what makes you a good leader. Otherwise, you only become a manager. There's a lot of difference between a leader and a manager. So try learning those habits when you start your career. That's what will help you 20 years down the line. Have trust. So on working with people, so go social, publish your work that you're doing, that will speak for you instead of your resume. Socialize, try to learn some amount of communication skill. Language is irrespective of the language. If you're fine, good, only with talking in your mother tongue, that's fine. Communicating the concept is important. That you're not going to go talk with your client. You need the language of the client only for if you are a customer facing person. Otherwise, for any people, expressing the ideas is important, socializing, and then trust and delegate down the line in your career. The last section on doing it yourself. This is for the entrepreneurs who want to do their own business, or it could be for any people, this will be applicable. The important thing that you have to learn is working in cooperation, because all along this life, we have been taught, at least that's I think I should call this as a social pressure or the societal culture that we are in. We are only taught to compete for marks, compete for grades. You just say, I'm good at this. I just compare and compete is what children have been taught from their childhood. I should only blame it on the society for that. But then as you grow up, as you become adult, that you should think, are those needed? Because that's what education should give you, right? Lot of things that we do in our life from childhood, we may have done without even asking why we are doing. At least I'm talking about my generation. But you must be able to think, and you must be able to unlearn some things if it is needed. That's what will make you an educated person. Leaving that aside, coming to this point, working in cooperation is more important than competition. Because in an organization, if you start competing with your subordinates or among your peers, among your colleagues, you're only going to lose. If you're starting a business, you make sure that all of them have to work along the same line, because the competition is out there in the market. If you're going to compete among yourself to prove who's the best person, that's going to be a problem. So working in cooperation is very important. You have to work with multiple people, with a person from marketing, person from sales, support, quality assurance, technical writer, product manager. So many people are involved. And definitely when there are two people, more than one person working with two people, two or more people, there is going to be conflicts. That's what is human mind and human nature. But you must be able to ignore all those and work. When you come to work, see only the work ethics. Don't take the personal things there. Work in cooperation. That's what is important. So enjoy the journey. I say this to all of my, in many of my talks as well. See this road. This is a beautiful curvy road, and if your destination is on the top of this road, and if you have to take a bike or a car and ride in this and to reach the top of the road, what will you do? Will you just focus on just the top and drive fast and reach there, or stop in between, enjoy the scenery, take selfie and go along? We'll choose the second option, right? Because that's the journey. The beauty lies in the journey. This is what I would call in your career path as well. Lot of time, if people say you have to work for the next 20 years, work hard for the next 20 years, and you retire at 50 or 60 and you can enjoy after that, don't go that way. If there is going to be if we usually divide it as 0 to 20 years or 0 to 25 years, study. 25 to 60, work hard. After 60, you enjoy. We don't know if we will live that long. in this pandemic time, we don't know if we'll be there tomorrow. No, who thought that all of us will be sitting at home right now without the ability to move out? None of us, not even one in this whole generation. So that volatile is what the life is. So enjoy the journey, the small mistakes that you make, the different people that you meet in your work, the experiences that you have, both positive and negative. That's what makes the whole life beautiful. There is the saying called as, there is no path to happiness. Happiness is the path. It is in the path. So enjoy the journey. Don't just focus on the destination and keep running towards them. That's very important. This is my favorite. I've said this in different forms, in different talks. Scratch your itch. So if you have to start a business, or if you are passionate about something, just remember this cat picture. I call this as a Sandy. We'll call her as Sandy as a name. What is she doing? She's just scratching herself, right? Why is she doing that? Because nobody else can do it for her. And she can't stop. It's itching. She has to scratch. And she gets immense pleasure by doing it. Whatever it takes, she'll be doing that. So these qualities, these questions, if you are able to answer, that's what is your passion. So if you want to do something, that's your entrepreneurial venture, startup, what area that you want to start on. If you have something which you cannot sleep, you keep thinking only about that, you will not be able, somebody else is not going to come and do it for you. You want to do that, you will not sleep until you have done that, and you will do anything to get that done. And you will be very, very happy at the end of it. You're not doing it for marks or for money, but for happiness. So that is the golden spot. That is the area. If you are able to identify that area as your entrepreneurial venture, that's what is your passion about. So identify such thing and convert your passion into profession. You will be able to lead a happy life. So on doing it yourself, we saw 3 things: learn to cooperate and do, enjoy the journey, and scratch your personal itch. So we have talked about the 6 different things, right? So on learning, we saw what we have to do. So the balloon effect, and sit on a balanced stool, and remember Poppy. On special skills, learn the art of learning, learn the art of zooming, Seth Godin, and the real work-life balance that you should be having. On tools, we saw about how to choose a right set of tools, the time management, and you have to become specialist in handling the tools. On technology, you should learn to code. Everybody has to learn to code. Leap off with faith. You should have the confidence in yourself and think beyond tech. On working with people, go social, put your works in social media and socialize with people, and trust and delegate. On doing it yourself, what did we see? You have to learn in cooperation, work in cooperation, enjoy the journey, and scratch your personal itch. So these are some small tips and tits and bits. If you are able to recollect or remember some of them in your career, for your life ahead, you will really be successful. See, a lot of time people ask me, when ma'am was saying that about after this pandemic, what will happen to jobs? Will I have a job opportunity? Businesses are going out of business. So will I lose? A lot of people are losing jobs. What will happen? But remember, irrespective of the pandemic, capability to learn new things as they come, and if you are capable of taking the opportunities that you see in front of you, nothing is going to stop. As long as the world exists, we are going to have job opportunities, but in different forms. That's what. There was this survey from Gartner. Gartner is a survey firm, which said when this artificial intelligence and robots started coming up, people thought people will go out of business. No. The concept only introduced more jobs than it took away. It just took away the mundane, day-to-day, regular activities that we do. But we needed people with special skills. So only if you have that capability to hone yourself with that special skills, there will only be more and more opportunities. So don't fear. Just take this as a time period of finding out what you want to become, just sit back and relax and learn new concepts. Take this as a time for you to do things you would have thought I didn't have time to do all those. Get yourself refreshed or learn things. You will definitely be able to be successful in your career. So I'll just finish with this quote. So there is this Did You Know series. You can go, I think many of you would have seen this. So before I go that, so these are some of the top 10 top demand jobs that did not exist 10 years ago. So this Uber drivers, data scientist, the cloud specialist, iOS Android developer, these jobs were not there 10 years ago. When I started my career, I don't even know of these terminologies. The organization has changed, the job that we do, the platforms that we work on, everything have changed. Why I'm saying this is we don't know what is going to come in the future. Possibly you would be inventing such things. So don't fear what's going to come. So the Did You Know series has 3 lines, which is very famous and which I like. We are currently preparing students for jobs that don't yet exist. We don't know the jobs. You don't know what jobs you're going to work on. Using technologies that haven't been invented. You would be one of the person who's going to invent this technology. In order to solve problems, we don't even know our problems yet. We don't even know what the problem is going to be. We don't know what the technology we are going to use. Then why worry about it? So don't ask me then what am I doing reading all this? As I said, it's only the balloon effect. Remember, if you are able to find out that sweet spot, what you want to work on, have the habit of learning things, any problem you will be able to solve, you will be able to survive. So with that, I just conclude. All the best for your future. Thank you so much for this time. I hope you are able to have some takeaway from this session. So we'll take questions, ma'am. Hello?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, hello, ma'am.
Your audio, video. Hello.
Yeah, hello, ma'am. Yeah, thank you so much for your wonderful words, which gave us a great sense of motivation amid this conventional day-to-day rush in this pandemic. So we are very obliged to have a great, different sense of experience, ma'am. So my question is what was your first win, which made you so confident that you are doing the right thing?
What was my first win?
Yeah, which made you so confident that that you're doing the right thing, you're in the right path.
Okay. So I should not call it as my first win. I am basically a person who sees everything in a positive way. So when I first entered this job, many people ask this question. You have been here for 20 long years. How have you been able to be in the same job for so long? So I would say the responsibilities that I was given. So I started working in a technology for which I don't know if you also know this. There is this protocol called as TL1 protocol. If you're a computer science student, you must know this protocol.
Yes,
so TL1 protocol. I was given that challenge to work in that TL1 protocol to find out a monitoring solution of how to talk with that device using a TL1 protocol. I didn't know of that name at all in my college. So we didn't even have the device to connect and see if things was working. So if you know the other protocols, there is this SNMP, which is very easy. It is there in all Linux devices. You can just connect and get the data. So as an organization, we only had one in our US office during that time frame. And I had to contact the sysadmin person in the US office to connect to that device. So, which happens during their daytime and during my nighttime. It was very challenging job. I wanted to really find out how things work. So I stayed late night and I was able to connect to that system, write my first piece of code using that TL1 protocol to talk to that system and get that system metrics. So when you see such things, which you are doing it for a first time and it works, irrespective of somebody client is using it or not, you have that self-satisfaction. So that, I may not be able to call this as a win myself during that time, but the confidence that you have, the satisfaction that you have out of doing something and you're seeing a result out of it, that will give you more confidence to work. So I was able to do that project till 1.0 version of it. If I take today, I will only laugh at it maybe, because I can do so much improvement in it. But that time, that was very new, and I wrote in a way that I could get the details. And in 6 months, I released it as well. And the client started using maybe 1 year later. I released it. I moved on to another project. But though that was the first one that I did as I joined my organization, and the rest, they trusted me and they gave me that work. Soon out, I was a fresh college student, and I was trusted and I was given that. When people trust you and give you that liberty to try out things, you will feel more, and you succeed in that, you will feel more confident. So those, it need not be a big win and all. So the small achievements, the small things that you do, you are confident that you have done something,